Now, before we get started, I wanted to let you guys know that the stuff that Roger and me talk about are all opinions and feelings that we have towards what we are talking about. It's not facts. We're not saying anything is factual that we're saying. It's all personal opinions to how we feel and how we deal with the situations at hand. So, enjoy the video. Don't get too crazy. We're gonna trigger a lot of people.
All right, let's do it.
Yo, what is going on, my husbandos and waifus? My name is HERMSAUR, and welcome to a discussion video. Last time we had a discussion was the overhaul arc.
That's right.
As you guys know, I'm here with RogersBase.
What's going on, everybody?
Senpai. We're gonna talk about something that's been like going on, especially in my mentions and in my videos recently. It's related to the anime awards, but it's opinions, anime opinions. And since me and him do a lot of anime reviews, whether if it's from the shonen that we cover or if it's just a random anime that we're interested in, people will always have opinions.
Oh yeah.
But then there's always that certain few that like to belittle your intelligence and who you are just because you like a certain thing. Now, one of the—
or don't like a certain thing.
Or don't like a certain thing, right. Exactly. It's like the anime Rick and Morty type of ordeal. Especially—
I have a comment literally waiting, ready to go. Once we get to the little portion, we're going to be reading out comments or calling out specific people. Absolutely.
People calling the award show, the anime award show, the cringe awards. I mean, like you said, there's some cringe moments.
Yeah, but it wasn't really that bad. We were both there.
Yeah.
And it was not that bad at all. Like, I think Victoria and all the other people at Crunchyroll, they were giving their own opinions in between the actual awards.
Yeah,
There were little skits going on stage.
Yeah.
But it was fine. None of it was like—
none of it's
so
like,
cringy.
oh, why am I watching this?
Yeah, no, it wasn't like watching a Double 4 anime video. So, yeah.
I was gonna say something, but I'm not gonna.
Go ahead, it's fine.
No. Okay. Christian YouTuber. The big thing that I got a lot of was My Hero Academia winning everything.
Yeah.
I felt like it was deserving. I thought it was a good anime.
I think so too. I was more shocked that My Hero, despite winning everything, lost Anime of the Year. And you said that you think it's probably like they gave it to Made in Abyss.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want it to seem like the My Hero Academia Awards, kind of like what happened the year before with Yuri
on Ice. Yeah.
But the more I think about it, like I was talking with Reagan about this, and I think it's just because there were different judges for that category.
That's true.
And Made in Abyss is a good standalone show. It's not like it's a bad show.
Exactly.
So I think they probably were like, okay, well, My Hero Academia has got season after season after season. Made in Abyss is its own thing, you know?
Yeah.
So I think they probably voted for that, not because it like didn't deserve it. I think it was because
I felt like everyone everyone on that list deserved it.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. So
even though I'm just like talking out of my mouth because I've only seen maybe like 3 of those shows.
I've seen almost. I think I've seen all of them, but I haven't finished Made in Abyss.
Yeah.
So that's one. But you know, like a lot of people were just excited for Made in Abyss.
Sure.
A lot of people were saying plot twist, which was, I guess it was a plot twist. The whole discussion and the reason of this video is the reaction.
Well, I mean, but it's like that with everything. I think nowadays people are so sort of like focused on you needing to like the same things that they
Exactly.
Like, and it's weird. Like, to me, I like One Piece, right? I like Frozen. I like things that there's a lot of people who don't like those things. Like, like Frozen and One Piece, there's a lot of haters of both of those things. And yet, like, other people hating Frozen or other people hating One Piece is not going to make me dislike those shows any less. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but for a lot of people, and this is maybe like something that might trigger a couple people, is I feel like if people feel the need to defend their opinion over a comment that you made that's not directed toward them, that you're just like generally saying, oh, I wasn't a huge fan of that, and they take that personally, and they're like, how could you say that about my show? I think they probably know in their head what they're watching is probably not that great. Yeah. And so they're not as confident in like saying, oh, I really like this. Like, they take it way more personally. Like, for me, I know in my head, whether or not anyone else likes it, I personally find One Piece to be a great series. Right. And so no matter what anyone says, no one's gonna sway me or sway my opinion that One Piece is good, because like I'm gonna still like One Piece even if the rest of the world hated it.
And it's kind of like my opinion, and you dislike it, but I like gamers.
Right, you love gamers, and I don't like gamers. Right,
and you don't like gamers. Right. Yeah, and then we were just talking how you're talking how bad it was, but like, I still like it. I don't care.
But you still like it.
Yeah,
right? Me saying I didn't like it, like addressing what I don't like about it, is not gonna make you hate the show that you like.
Exactly. I think people like to sheep towards a popular opinion.
Sheep. That's like, good. Yeah.
It's because even with Sword Art Online, it very popular and non-popular anime. Yeah. Because people either really hate it or really like it. Now I'm like dead center in the middle. I understand why it's bad, but I understand why it's good. Sure. And I felt like me saying and a friend of ours was literally like shitting on me. Like she just kept crap talking to me about like, Hermes, you have shit taste in anime if you like Sword Art Online. I'm like, I said I like it. It's not I'm saying that I love it. She's like, but you have shit taste if you like that. I'm like, what about all the other stuff that I like?
Yeah, right.
You know, like, so you're saying that, you know, My Hero Academia is trash? Or you're saying like One Piece is trash? And she's like, no, it's just because you like Sword Art, you're trash. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I feel like people just, if you like something, and this is me, if you like something, like it, right? Yeah. But then, and this is something that I've learned a lot with, like, and, you know, it's with every community. But especially since we do reviews.
Or live reactions.
Or live reactions. Matter, I think people miss the fact that this is our opinion, our personal opinion. And if people agree with it, that's great. If they don't, the comment section is a great place to have a discussion.
That's been One Piece for me, I think, for the past 3-4 months, right? Because Whole Cake Island, for those of you guys who are caught up to One Piece, is a really divisive story arc.
Because it's really long, right?
It's really long, and the pacing is not great. And I love One Piece, but when I say things like the pacing isn't good, I'll get responses like, well, you're not Oda, you're not a mangaka, how could you say things like that? You're an idiot, baka, 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 baka. And I'll be like, calm down, dude. It's just like my opinion about this. You could disagree with me, it's fine. But like, I don't know, and then people trying to call you like a One Piece hater, like a fake One Piece fan, because you have a critical opinion of something. It's like, no, that's my job is literally to go online and talk about an anime or talk about a manga. That is what I am here for. I am giving my opinion. And recently I have had to like reiterate time and time again at the beginning of my reviews, like, this is just my opinion. Right, like there was a recent fight in One Piece that just happened where a character had a power-up. Okay. And I thought the power-up itself wasn't all that interesting, but the powers themselves were cool and the fight itself was cool. So I mentioned that it's like one of the best fights since the time skip. It's so good, but like I didn't like this power. And instead of people highlighting like, oh, he really liked the way the fight was choreographed, they were instead like focusing on the fact that I didn't like the appearance of the power-up. And they're like, how could you say that if you think the fight's so good? It's like, they're two totally different things. Why are you focused on this one thing that has nothing to do with the rest of what I'm talking about? Right. Yeah.
Even, there was this discussion too, the tweet got deleted. Yeah. But I hopped into it. It was Yonko Productions, me, and we were just talking about this. I forgot who it was. I think it was ProZD. He deleted it. He actually deleted this comment.
ProZD deleted it?
Okay. Because he started it. Yeah. He said he watched My Hero Academia, but Bakugo's a trash character. He tweeted that. Okay. I wanted to save it because I wanted to make a video to it.
Oh, you could have.
But then I missed it. I was like, dang
no, you could have screenshotted it.
I know. Video, could have got mad clout.
Yeah, seriously, yeah.
Yeah, but then Yonko Productions responded that, you know, like,
he's a good foil.
He's a good, exactly. He's bad, but he's a good character. His character itself is good, but he's bad. There was like this big discussion and people just saying all Yonko Productions is going to be just the Bakugo defenders. It was like, no, like, I don't understand why we can't like a character.
And he wasn't going at him, I'm assuming.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't going at him like, how could you say that about Bakugo? Bakugo's the best character of all time. How could you?
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, he was just explaining. I think you can explain something and give your opinion on something, but at the same time, you don't need to like go absolutely crazy over it. Yeah, and even like, so I'm gonna bring
this up. It's time.
I'm gonna bring up this specific video. So I recently did a video titled "My First Reaction to Pop Team Epic."
Okay, now here's something that we could preface real quick. Yeah, is that Roger doesn't like Pop Team Epic
at all.
I find it somewhat enjoyable. Okay, I enjoy it a little bit, but there's some moments where I'm just like, it's okay. But see, that's the difference between me and him. Like, I find weird stuff.
Right. So here's the video. RogersBase reacts to Pop Team Epic Anime Episode 1. And that's my Pop Team Epic episode live reaction. I pinned this tweet because I thought it was, and it's edited from the original version. So what I'm gonna do, because I made a video response to this, I'm gonna click this video.
Someone actually did the original comment with typos.
Oh, perfect. I don't even need to go to the other video then. Here we go. This was a comment on my Pop Team Epic live reaction because I didn't like it. Wow, man. You seem like a pretty stupid individual. You have the right to not like the show, but at the very least, try. Try to understand the humor and the appeal of this anime. If you just used some brain cells, you would have immediately, because he spelled immediately wrong, immediately caught most of the humor, satire, and parodies in this episode. I'm personally not an expert in anime or any pop culture stuff, but still was able to, once again, immediately understand the opening sequence was a troll. That they made fun of cliches in anime. That one scene was a parody of Your Name. And that the anime doesn't take itself seriously. Writing 3 minutes in the show, I understood pretty much what type of show it is and what type of humor is that. First off, what are you even saying? And this video just made you look pretty stupid. Yeah, it definitely made me look stupid. Gave me the impression that once a show doesn't follow the standard typical way of storytelling, you start hate it because you can't use brain to try to figure stuff up by yourself, which probably explains why your channel is centered on anime mangas like One Piece and Dragon Ball. I love these anime mangas though. So that's one response.
Did you ever cover Dragon Ball?
Once. I don't even, I did like,
I was like,
no.
When?
No, Roger, it was a meme before the show started. You wouldn't get the joke. Like, did you even realize the second time they changed the voice actors for female ones? Literally, like, so many comments in here are talking about how I didn't get Pop Team Epic. No, I get it.
Yeah.
I understand the appeal of the show.
Right.
I mentioned in the live reaction, like, how could people enjoy this? Explain to me how you could enjoy this. And, and like, people were like, that's really antagonistic. I'm like, it's not antagonistic. Me literally genuinely asking you, how could you enjoy this garbage? Like, I want to know. And like, one kid made a response video about how it's basically just like internet memes. It's like a bunch of internet memes.
Yeah, facts.
And he tried comparing it to Tim and Eric, which is like a show that's on Adult Swim, which is just kind of like stupid humor. Yeah. Like a bunch of random stuff happens and it doesn't make any sense. And my argument back, which a lot of people were like, this is crazy, how could you say this, is that, like, I like Tim and Eric. I actively watch Tim and Eric. Mm-hmm. I find Tim and Eric very funny.
Yeah.
I found no part of Pop Team Epic very funny at all. And yeah. To say like, oh, I didn't understand the references or I didn't understand the humor, it get lost in translation or whatever. Like, no, I got it. Like, people were trying to explain to me the beef or chicken joke over my like Twitter DMs. I'd say over the course of like a week, I got 20, maybe 30 different mentions and DMs from people who were like, just so you know, like, the beef and chicken joke is because, like, when you start beef with someone, like, it means like you want to be in a fight. And then when you say like you're a chicken, it's saying that like you don't want to be in a fight. So like when they said they wanted to start beef, she's like, well, of course I'm not a chicken because she wasn't scared. It's like, I know. Yeah. Like, I understand.
No, yeah.
It didn't need to be explained to me. And by explaining it to me, you are proving the joke doesn't work.
Right.
It's not very funny. And I've seen this influx of people who will jump on these shows because like the internet loves them or for whatever reason.
Right.
And they'll find this one thing about the show and they'll like defend it to the death and will just literally not hear out any criticism about their show at all.
Right.
And like for me personally, I like watching One Piece videos that criticize the current story arc or previous story arcs because I'm interested to know what other people think. Like, I don't like every story arc. And I'm not going to like every story arc moving forward, but I like a lot of them. And so hearing other people's opinions, I think is really important not to craft your own. Mm-hmm. If you already feel strongly about something and that opinion was not formulated through, you know, watching other people's videos, then I think it's fine. But like if your opinion of something is completely crafted from like what the internet thinks of this or like what people that you respect think of it and you haven't even watched it yourself and you're trying to explain it and defend it, that's an issue with you. Like, that's not an issue with me or you as a content creator. Yeah, it's an issue with the person who's making it.
Like another like big example. I know you haven't watched it yet, but you know about it.
Yeah,
was the Pokemon movie? The 20th anniversary went up. I Choose You, right? So there's a scene where Pikachu talks. The internet went wild because BuzzFeed was talking about it, talking about how it ruined people's childhood.
Because Pikachu talks.
Because Pikachu talks. Now me, I was an avid watcher of Pokemon. I haven't watched Sun and Moon. That's the only season I haven't watched. Which I heard was really good, by the way. But it was alright.
The animation's cool.
KG, sorry. No, but
KG knows how I feel because I watched through X and Y because Ash Greninja was there and like it seemed like he was gonna win the league.
Oh yeah,
and it was the first time that like it really seemed like Ash was gonna win.
Yeah.
And they hyped it up like in all the commercials and everything. Like Ash is gonna win. He's got Greninja. He's up against a Charizard. Like how bad of a trainer do you need to be if you have a Greninja? And you lose to a Charizard.
It was a Charizard X though, right?
That doesn't matter. It's irrelevant.
The Charizard X.
He was an Ash Greninja. He's basically a mega evolved Greninja using a giant water shuriken.
That's true.
You shouldn't have lost.
I posted it on Facebook and I was like, people are just hating on the scene just because Pikachu talks rather than inquiring about the whole movie as a whole.
Right.
Like, I could understand why people wouldn't like Pikachu talking, but people literally just said, this is the worst. This is why this movie sucks.
Yeah.
Because of this 5-second clip of Pikachu talking.
Yeah.
It was no more than a minute. Like, I think people were just so frustrated and people had to argue with me about why it was a bad movie. And the movie was great. I mean, people were like, Brock was in there, Misty was in there. It was a completely different story.
Yeah.
That's what it was supposed to be. It was a different story that took Ash on a different journey. And just the whole part with Pikachu talking, it just brought... I feel like the people that were arguing with me didn't even watch the movie. They just watched that clip and were just very upset. And I think people just like to gravitate towards a very popular opinion and just run with that. So like, Pop Team Epic.
Yeah.
Like the internet loves it. I think it's okay. I don't love it, but I think it's
fine for what it is.
It's fine. It's fine for what it is. I understand the humor.
Yeah.
But I don't laugh with the humor. I just understand it.
Yeah.
I honestly watch it for educational purposes.
For what educational purpose, though?
Just so I could see what people are laughing to see if I react to it.
Why like waste your time? There's so many good anime out there. Like,
I watch everything.
I know and I probably should. I probably should watch everything. I have the luxury of not having to do that. I can watch One Piece and My Hero.
See, this guy has it figured out. Me, I just.
My Hero's a good example, right? Yeah. So I just did a read through of My Hero Academia of the latest chapters.
Right.
You know this because you read it weekly. Jiro plays a big part in the current story arc because she's putting together.
Are you caught up? Caught
up completely. Okay. Yeah. So Jiro's putting together that like concert where they're going to do the dancing and stuff, and then there's a YouTube villain who's going to crash the concert and all that stuff. So Jiro plays a big part in it. I don't particularly like, nor have I ever really cared for Jiro as a girl in this series. Like, I just, her aesthetic, everything about her, like personality is just not for me. Right. It's just like, okay, it's fine. But I'm enjoying the story arc.
Right.
And I was like clearly enjoying it throughout my whole read through. The comment section for my latest read through has nothing to do with that I cried over Night Eye. It has nothing to do with like the hysterical sequence with Bakugo and Todoroki and Cammy and the kids.
Right.
None of that. It focuses, even though I thought it was so funny, like how they came up with the idea for the concert and everything, they focused instead on the fact that I'd mentioned like, I'm not a huge fan of Jiro, but whatever.
Right.
And it's like, I like the story.
Right.
To go off on me and rail on me and say, oh, you're a fake My Hero Academia fan because you don't like one thing about it. It's like, no.
You can hate one thing about it.
I don't even hate, I don't hate Jiro.
But you can.
But I can.
But you can.
But I mean, I don't. Like, it's just like, okay, she's fine, but like, she's not my favorite character.
Yeah, I think.
And people went off.
I think as people, you know that one saying is like, you do something good, people forget.
Right.
You do one bad thing, everyone remembers.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So it's kind of like that.
It's kind of like that.
Like, I was saying that Jiro was a... Jiro was a great, not great. She's a underrated character.
Sure.
I understand why people don't like her. She doesn't really, at least so far from where we've been at, she hasn't really contributed much.
No.
And her character design is kind of bland. But then I like her. I think she's very underrated.
Sure.
Yeah. So even I had something in my head. I forgot.
But like even remember when we did that video right at the very beginning of the year, literally my first video of the year. When I came back from Chicago, the very first video I recorded all year was with you, and it was going over that My Hero Academia popularity poll. And we were genuinely asking people, like, how in a year with Shane, in a year with like all these other new characters, Lemillion, all these like really objectively amazing characters who are super fleshed out, like how did Ida and Jiro end up in the top 10?
Oh, and
Shinso.
Yeah.
Above like all of these other amazingly well-written characters.
Yeah, we were even getting mentions on Twitter.
Yeah, and people were like, you don't understand, like this was made during the second season. And we're like, no, we understand.
Yeah.
We're looking at the second season and going, okay, where is Stain?
Even if
like,
Lemillion,
where's Hatsune Mai? Where's but
even
like,
if Lemillion wasn't in there, like there's so many other characters that
from that second season, who were like really
Hatsune Mai, it was amazing.
Yeah, and again, it's a popularity poll. It's just opinions, but we're just giving our opinion about these movies. We're not saying like, oh, these people are horrible people for liking Ida.
Exactly.
We're just like genuinely curious as to why people liked it. Yeah.
I think people just get like, I think it's just
people take it too personally.
They do take it too personally, and there are times when someone has a differencing opinion to me, and I'm just like, what? But then, because sometimes I feel like it's facts, but you have to kind of take it in as like, you know what? No, it's their opinion.
Yeah.
Like when in my comment section in the anime awards, the most recent one, I'm not gonna diss him or anything. Ace Trevenant.
Okay.
And he said that My Hero Academia was boring. And I'm like, okay, that's something that's not into his preference. That's fine. But I felt like at a point it seemed like the comment section was to the point where it was either attacking him or him attacking other people, or he was trying to prove that why it was boring. And I'm like, no, it's fine if you find the series
if you find
boring.
it boring,
then it's not for you. Like, what's a really popular anime that I found boring? Erased.
Okay.
I didn't like that one personally. I watched like the first 3 to 4 episodes. I couldn't stand it. I was just like, I really tried. I really tried to like it, but it just wasn't catered to me. Like, I just didn't find it very interesting.
I mean, that's literally me in Kingdom. People have been telling me to do reviews and read-throughs of Kingdom forever.
Right.
And I've mentioned time and time again on read-through streams, like, I wanted to like Kingdom. I know for a fact, if I did Kingdom reviews, I would get a lot of money and a lot of views.
Right.
Like, I know that, like, I could just put this content out there and not really like it. But I think, and you feel the same way about this, I feel like you should cover things that you're passionate about.
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
And for me, I was not feeling Kingdom. And I'd mentioned on a bunch of live streams that the main thing I don't like about it's the art style. I just am not a fan of the art style. It's not to say it's bad. It's not to say whatever. It's not something that I particularly find enjoyable.
Yeah, and
instead of people going, oh, okay, well, if you didn't like the art, I understand that. That's cool. Like, whatever. You don't need to read it. Instead, it was, no, your taste in art is horrible.
Right.
You need to go back and reread it again because you're wrong. And, like, when has that ever solved anything? When have you ever been in a situation where somebody's like, no, what you just did was totally wrong. You need to rewatch this whole thing. Like, not what you did, but like your opinion on something. Your opinion on something is totally wrong. You need to go do the entire thing again that you disliked doing to find that you actually like this thing.
It happened when, okay, this is going to trigger so many people. I'm so sorry, but this is just my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't think Full Metal Alchemist is the best anime of all time.
I mean, I'm drinking that tea right there with you, but we'd get crucified.
I think it's a fantastic.
I think it's fun. I think
it's a great anime.
Yes.
It's definitely deserving of where it's at.
Sure.
But for me personally,
not your favorite.
It's not my favorite thing.
I agree.
To watch.
I'm exactly in the same boat.
Yeah, I love the series.
I acknowledge that it's a really well done series.
Yes.
I understand completely why people like it.
Yeah.
But no matter what people tell me, like, you need to watch Full Metal, it's going to be your favorite series. Yeah. It's never going to be my favorite series.
Yeah.
And that is like a perfect example.
Yeah,
Full Metal is something that comes up again.
It's something that we like, but it's not our favorite. Right. I would not like. People gave it like.
I gotta be honest. I wouldn't even say that I like it. I think I acknowledge that it's good.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah,
I liked it.
Yeah.
It was one of the first, I believe, anime that I was watching to kind of get myself into it, and I did enjoy it a lot. But then I found better anime. Like, for example, what genre would that be under?
Like action adventure. I mean, what would you, family drama kind of, like, there's a bunch of different.
Yeah.
I would say adventure. Well, drama. It'd be a drama.
It'd be a drama.
Yeah.
And a drama, adventure, action.
Right.
And for me, like, that caters to a lot of people, like, the genre type, right? But for me, I like slice of life. I like very easily digestible anime that I can watch, for example, like A Recovery of an MMO Junkie.
Sure.
That one's such a basic, easygoing anime.
Sure.
I would prefer to watch that over Full Metal Alchemist. Not because I say it's better, it's just it caters to my taste.
Right, like for me, I like shonen over seinen, and I always will.
Yeah.
I will always prefer a Food Wars or a My Hero Academia or a One Piece over a Tokyo Ghoul or a, even Attack on Titan. I love Attack on Titan, but like even over like an Attack on Titan, something like, I just like, or a Berserk. Like Berserk's a huge one. Like, I acknowledge Berserk is really good, it's just not my thing.
Right.
And when I mention like, the thing I don't like about it's like, is the violence, the gore, or whatever, and people will be like, but you like Attack on Titan, how could you say that? It's like, well, that's because what I'm saying is like the exception to my rule. It's not that like, because I like this one thing, I need to like every other thing in this one thing.
Right, exactly.
Like,
exactly.
I don't particularly like rhythm games. I don't think like rhythm video games are fine, but like, I don't particularly like them. But I love Rhythm Heaven, and I love Taiko Drum Master, which is like
I love game.
Those games. Are super fun.
That game, yeah.
But I'm not a huge rhythm fan. Like I wouldn't go out of my way to play a bunch of rhythm games, but I like those games.
Yeah.
And me liking Rhythm Heaven and me liking Taiko Drum Master does not mean that I need to like every single rhythm game that came out here. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's that kind of thing. And people have that mentality, I feel, specifically with anime and manga. And this is probably going to get us in trouble, but like I've said this on streams before, so I feel like it's really not that big of a deal. But I feel like a lot of these super strong opinions and a lot of like taking it personally comes down to the community itself. Comes down to the anime and manga community. I love the anime and manga community. We're both a part of it.
We're part of it, yeah.
But I think there's a lot of people in the anime manga community who are isolationist, who like being alone, or who are alone not by choice, but because they feel isolated because like no one else really likes anime, right?
Right.
And so they kind of have to keep to themselves, and they'll maybe look forward to something like One Piece every week, right? I have subscribers who look forward to One Piece every week. That is their favorite thing in the week, One Piece. Right. And if the only good thing in your life for that time being, if you're going through a hard time, is like a manga series or a manga chapter or an anime episode, and you're watching something like, or somebody, I should say, a content creator who you like and respect, and again, you're having a hard time of it, and you see them saying bad things about this thing you've waited like a week for, and it's the one good thing in your week, right?
Right.
And we say something bad about it, it's going to be hard to not take that personally. Right. That's going to be something where it's like,
because I've been through that situation too.
Oh, me too. I know. It's like where it's like all through high school, I was the only person playing Pokemon. I was the only one from middle school to like halfway through high school. Then Diamond and Pearl came out and it was cool again. But like for the time being, for Gen 3, it was not cool to like Pokemon.
Right.
But I didn't know anyone. I liked it. And I liked the Sonic the Hedgehog games when I was like that age too. I liked the Sonic the Hedgehog games.
Yeah.
And I think back to like when I was that age. And I think back to the age of like maybe some of our subscribers.
Yeah.
And where my headspace was at that time in my life, where I would defend to the death Sonic the Hedgehog. I would say like Sonic Heroes is amazing. You don't understand Shadow the Hedgehog. He's just misunderstood. Like he's such a good character, all this stuff. And it was the reason I was taking it personally and I felt like defending it was again because it was like this thing that I really liked that no one else around me liked.
Right.
And I felt the need not to like to say something to like change even your opinion, but to see if other people out there in the stratosphere had the same opinion as me, and to see if maybe they gravitate towards that opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. That's how it was, because I'm pretty sure you went through this, but there was a time when playing Nintendo games was not cool.
Oh, of course.
It was all about Xbox or Sony, right?
Of course.
So I remember that period, and when people were like, oh, do you have a PlayStation 2? I was like, no, I still play with like my GameCube. And they're like, what? Are you a child?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, why are you playing children's game? I'm like, no, it's enjoyable. And like I had to defend not only the console, but I had defended myself.
Right.
Because, you know, I think this is, when I'm relating back, is people... I think the issue that I've had is that people like to belittle you as a person because of what interests you. And like the whole point of this is like what you like, honestly, because, and if you have a voice and you want to voice it out, then do that. Yeah. But of course we're expecting that we're going to get people that don't agree with us.
Sure.
And that's fine. I think it's the issue lies where people take it as we're saying our opinion is fact.
Right. Right.
I think the only fact that we probably said is, or
it's Pop Team Epic is garbage. That's pretty much the only fact we've said.
Or not that, but like what you like. Of course.
No, but I think that's really good advice for someone who maybe has like a really strong anime opinion. It's that like there are other people out there who probably feel the same way as you, but don't take it too personally. If someone is not directing a comment, like it's different if like I tweeted out One Piece, right? I tweeted out something that was in One Piece that I really liked, and then you tweeted at me and said, One Piece is garbage. This is the worst series in history. These are all the reasons why.
Right.
I would feel the need to defend it because you're directly attacking me.
Right.
But if I'm just making a tweet out there, like we just watched Boy and the Beast, if I just like generically made a tweet, not directed at anybody, and I said, even though I liked it, if I said something like, Boy and the Beast was okay. It was fine. Right. In fact, we got this for your name. We mentioned this about your name during the Anime Awards. But it's like, oh, it's fine. It's fine. It's not directed at anybody.
Right.
My tweets that night, after I said, literally,
I remember
you would think that I said, I just killed Jesus Christ. You would think that's what I said. Because I literally was just like, your name is okay, but I really think Silent Voice deserved it.
Yeah.
All of my comments, every single one was, how could you possibly say that? Your name is the most sympathetic, amazing anime movie to ever be released, you daft idiot.
Okay, your IQ so low.
Your IQ is so low, and your opinions are literally less than the smallest amount of garbage that I throw in my toilet every night before I go to bed. You're atrocious, and you're a terrible human being, and how could you feel that way about Silent Voice over your name? And I literally just tweeted, like, your name's fine. Yeah. And that kind of thing happens constantly.
Yeah, like when I said, what did I say? I said, oh, Ochiko's good.
Yeah.
I just said that.
And all the floppy hate.
Yeah. I gave a thumbs up, and people were like, why are you hating on Ochiko? I was like, no, I like Ochiko. What are you guys talking about?
Cool, yeah.
Even with Made in Abyss 1.
Sure.
My mention, not my mentions, but my DMs went crazy. They're like, ha, Hermes, we knew it was gonna lose. I was like, oh my gosh.
I know, it's like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, like, oh, that's
Don't
great.
Take it so personally, dude.
I know, I was like, that's great. He's like, you better be watching it.
And the other thing too is like, we have the luxury of doing videos, right, as opposed to making a tweet or throwing a tweet out there. And I do think that certain things get lost in translation if you're just writing something as opposed to actually talking about it. And so I feel like if I say something like Pop Team Epic is garbage, do I genuinely feel that way? Yes. But does that mean that, like, I'm trying to make you feel like this thing you like is garbage? No. I'm just saying that I personally think it's garbage, and it's not for me. But I assume that I have that luxury because I'm a YouTuber, but really, like, people feel like we don't. People feel like, no, I'm watching you to get my opinion reiterated. Like, I want to see my opinion of something strengthened, and if you don't feel the same way, then you're not a good content creator. I mean, and that happens all the time. Like where I mentioned, I did a video the other day about like the weakest One Piece character. I mentioned like who the weakest One Piece character is. This is unquestionable. It's like this bug that was named and was in one panel. Like there's no doubt in Oda's mind or the mind of any One Piece fan that this is not the weakest character. And my comments, even though I said nothing in the video, just devolved into this whole thing about like how Kobe, who's this one character.
I remember Kobe.
How Kobe's just like the actual weakest character and he's the worst thing. And all these people are going at people for saying like, opinions about who they think is the weakest and like really mean horrible things at people. And again, it wasn't really directed at me. It was directed at my fans, but at the same time it's like you want to jump in at all those conversations and be like, take it easy, dude. Like exactly. It is a show, like don't worry about it. And to go back to the point I said earlier about like how a lot of people in the community, I feel like maybe those chapters or those anime episodes are the one good thing going on in their life during a hard time. Like again, I can understand how you take it personally. But I would also reiterate that by saying, and again, I got hate for saying this on Dustin's stream, but I'm going to say it again because I genuinely feel this way. If the one good thing in your life is a manga chapter or a single manga chapter or a single anime episode, you need to just reevaluate your life. You need to like genuinely reevaluate your priorities. And if like you have all these things that are going wrong, you're like, look at your life and say, what can I change? What can I make better? And then maybe come back to this manga series that you might not even really like all that much, but you're using as an escape. Do that. I feel if you do that, you will be a happier individual. And I mean that genuinely. I don't mean that to be mean to anybody. I just feel like that's a good way to go about life. If you're focused so much on the little things, on an episode not being good, or an anime that you wanted to watch not ending up being as good as you wanted it to be, or a manga chapter, that's fine. Like, there's other entertainment out there. There's millions of hours of entertainment on Crunchyroll, Funimation, Netflix, whatever. You can watch whatever you want to watch. There's something out there for you. But, like, also maybe, like, go outside. Maybe go outside and take a walk. You know what I mean? Like, enjoy life.
You don't have to, like, you don't have to hate the person for having a differing opinion. Just, you know, agree to disagree.
That's right.
I think that's big. Agree to disagree. Because people just really feel like they have to hammer it down where they have, this is my opinion, and this is the only opinion that should be out there. Not at all. Not at all. But yeah.
But it's funny because I also, and maybe you can attest to this too, but like when I meet subscribers in person, this never happens. Ever.
Oh, no.
Never. In any interaction I've had with a fan ever, has someone come up to me and been like, you said this about my favorite anime series, I can't believe you, and I used to like you as a content creator, but I don't like you anymore. And like, that never happens. But people will go out of their way in the comments section where they're hiding behind a computer screen to say that. And so you also need to like, the best advice I can give if you're a content creator who does anime or manga stuff, so like this goes to you too, but you also really don't take your comments too hard, I feel. No. But for people who do, right, if you're an anime or manga reviewer and you're facing this issue and you're like, why are people attacking me for my opinion? Think of it this way, right? Think of being a sports commentator. You're a commentator during a football game, or you're a commentator during a basketball game.
Yeah.
And there's a group of dads who've been working 9 to 5 all week, who have looked forward to their Monday night football or their Friday night basketball game or whatever, and they all go to the bar, and the ref says something that they don't agree with, or the commentators say something they don't agree with, and they're like, oh, that guy's full of shit. Like, how could he say that? I didn't know shit about basketball. I'm way better. If I was on, if I was on the court, I would be able to make that slam dunk. And they'll say all of this stuff, but it's them basically venting out their frustration of everything else that's going on in their life. So for them, it's kind of like a release.
Exactly.
So for some people who write these comments like that you think like, wow, that's so rude, you got to remember, like, that's probably, again, one of the few good things in that person's life, and they need to vent. And I think that's fine, and if you're a content creator long enough, I think you get used to that.
Yeah.
But it could definitely be difficult if you're like on the rise and you are just for the first time getting like an influx of comments on your videos, and every comment is negative, and you're going to be like, why am I even doing this? But just stick with it. Like, it's fine. Look at it that way. Look at it like all of your people in your comment section are just dads at a sports bar after a hard day at work watching a football game. Like, that's the best way to look at your comment section.
And trolls will be trolls.
Always.
Like, I get called fat all the time in my comment sections. But you know what? I turned it into a joke.
Of course.
I definitely turned it into a joke where even new people are actually worried. They're like, you're not fat, okay? I'm like, I don't.
But dude, even like, or like the Disney thing, like, where I don't swear in my videos,
right?
And so people then go to the videos and they'll like make fun of me, like, oh, you're such a baby, like somebody swears, like, how could you possibly, you're so immature, and I'll write all this stuff and I'll be like, we Disney, it's fine, it's a joke, and
it's a joke,
exactly.
Yeah, so don't ever give in to like whatever, especially if it's against you. Because we're content creators, we deal with it a lot of the time, and a lot of people ask how we deal with that. And it's just opinions will be opinions, haters will be haters, trolls will be trolls.
Right.
They're all behind a computer.
And don't let their opinions or something, or them trying to convince you that what you like is good, don't let that work. Like, if you like something, just like it.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Unashamedly like it. If you like playing Senran Kagura, play Senran Kagura. If you like, I don't know, what's something weird that I do that, like, I guess Frozen. If you like Frozen, hang your Frozen poster on your wall. Hang the little Frozen ornaments up there. It's fine. Exactly. Doesn't matter. Someone's going to be like, you're a grown man. Why do you have Frozen stuff up there? I'll be like, I don't care. I like it. Let it go.
You use Ono holes, you use Ono holes.
Well, maybe that's where we draw the line. Maybe that's the separation between us. Yeah, we'll see.
But anyways, guys, we're going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
Just let us know how you feel in the comment section below, especially with a lot of the My Hero Academia opinions and the Made in Abyss stuff. But, be civil.
Yeah.
Me saying that, I already know I'm gonna get a death warrant.
Let's see these horrible comments. I can't wait.
Anyways, guys, thank you so much for coming through. Where can they find you?
RogersBase everywhere.
If you guys are not subscribing, what the fuck? Anyways, guys, see you in the next one. Peace out.